Welcome to the Internet of Retail. My name is Doug Drinkwater, the editor of Internet of Business, and I'm delighted to be joined by Annabel Kilner, who's Commercial Director at Made.com. Annabel, really glad you could join us today.
Thank you for having me.
And I know you're speaking later, so good luck with that. But the reason really for chatting with you today is kind of learning about Made.com and really how technology fits in your business right now, obviously in particular IoT. Just kind of getting a sense of what you guys have been doing over the last year and how IoT is an important part of that.
Being a pure play retailer, Made.com is all about the internet and has been obviously ingrained in our culture right from the start. How I see Internet of Things is essentially learning about customer experience, collating data on it to make it a much more relevant experience and give consumers the ultimate kind of choice. So I think one of the areas that we have developed in the last year or so is trying to connect our offline experience with the online experience. So we've opened up 4 or 5 showrooms in the last year, and in the showroom a customer can come and they can pick up a tablet, and it's NFC enabled to allow the customer to get any information they want on that particular product, to see products in the collection, and to see other products that they might like, create a wish list, and then email that to themselves. And I think why that's important is that ultimately we are purely built around our kind of website. So at the moment you can only purchase online, and we want the experience to be very similar for customers in store as it is online. And ultimately customers want all the information, particularly in the furniture sector, to make decisions on what to buy. So I think it's important when they're coming in store to be able to have all of that information kind of at their fingertips. So I think that's probably one of the kind of more relevant kind of use cases we're using at the moment.
And what do you see as the challenges around, NFC and iPads? Obviously, Internet of Things is a very new, depending on how you look at it, kind of trend. But there's a number of obstacles along the way. What kind of things are you seeing as issues or challenges that you face at Made.com?
Well, I think if we use the showroom example, I think the reason why we provide tablets for customers is that I don't want a customer to have to come in store and feel like to get further information they've got to download an app to get that information. And so I think the most challenging thing really is about making sure you're putting the customer at the heart of it and making it very relevant experience to the customer. So from our point of view, realistically, would a customer ever come in, download an app to find out more information about the furniture? They probably wouldn't. But to be able to walk in the store, see a really lovely digital board with a video player that shows how to use a tablet that's there for them, that they can just pick up and then use that as essentially their kind of own customer service agent, is very relevant. So I think the biggest challenge is making sure that we're investing in technologies that are really not too niche at the moment. But that's difficult because we all want to be disruptive, we all want to be early adopters and things, and so working out which use cases are the most relevant is challenging. I mean, when we started off in the showrooms, we actually started off with a augmented reality application, and at the time you used to have a marker of an A4 piece of paper that you put down in your room, hold your phone up, and then swipe through some products that you like, and it was done to scale in some way, but it just seems now so archaic to think that you did actually have to use a piece of paper to get the measurements and everything, and obviously the use case of that is very small. So I think it's about trying to introduce technologies where the consumer's ready to adopt them and they genuinely create value for them.
So how do you establish what technologies to adopt for your customers? Because that's a key challenge, I guess, in any industry. Finding out what customers are using, what they want to use, and what's hype and what's FUD kind of going forward. How do you, I guess, surveys in a traditional kind of model, but how do you kind of interact with those customers and find out what they want to use?
If I'm honest, I think a lot of the time we're using instinct. A lot of people that work at Made.com are customers of Made.com, genuinely our target audience. So I think it's using just your instinct on what is right for the customer, and then kind of taking that path. I mean, there are definitely times when we might introduce something from a PR value because we know that it will have great talkability. That in itself serves a great purpose of increasing kind of word of mouth. But I think if you're actually creating something of value to the customer, it's really us saying, do we think this works for us? Is it something we would use? Obviously, we collect an enormous amount of data as well, so it's likely that if we introduce something, we'll probably do that on a kind of quite a light basis with not a huge amount of investment, and certainly not investment in terms of signing up to any long-term contracts and things. And then we'll use the data to assess how it's being used and how we can optimize it. So even if I take the NFC tablets as an example, when we first introduced them, we just had a stand of tablets that the customer could pick up. Now the use case was relatively small. I think we were getting about 10% of people coming in the store and using it. We then added a signage essentially to the top of the tablet board, which had a video of exactly how to use it. And it suddenly became this approachable space where people could see exactly how to use it. It wasn't an embarrassing thing. They could pick up a tablet, see the use case, and then just get on and do it themselves. And now usage in the showrooms is over 40%.
So what, in terms of the future of retail, if we strip out the IoT for a second there and the technology, a lot of talk about personalisation or customisation. What do you see at Made.com as the kind of, if we take away the technology, what do you need to achieve in the years to come? You know, how are consumer habits changing?
I think consumers now have so much choice, and certainly in the furniture sector, consumers don't tend to be brand loyal. If you think about your home, you probably have furniture and homewares from many, many different types of retailers. So for me, it's about making it an enjoyable experience for the customer and making it relevant, and obviously having the right product so that they fall in love with something that they want, and therefore they have to kind of, there's only one place to buy that from. So I think data and personalization, which you just mentioned, enables us to basically create relevant experiences for the customer. And I think we're all very time short at the moment, so the more relevant we can make it, the better experience they should have.
And going back to IoT and looking at IoT in retail, obviously a very new trend. What do you think we're going to see in the next few years? Are we going to see more retailers test out these technologies? What do you expect kind of going forward, Made.com or other retailers here?
I think it obviously seems to be very much a kind of growing trend. I have no doubt that in 5 years' time it will be very commonplace for your furniture to be charging your devices, providing Wi-Fi connectivity. So I think, I think in 5 years' time we'll be kind of super connected. I'm already addicted to my Fitbit, where I can learn about exactly what I've kind of done during the day, and I've got no doubt that furniture will move in a similar kind of way, where suddenly it will become very valuable to us.
Annabel, really appreciate your time. I know you're speaking later, so good luck with that, and have a good rest of the day. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.